May this message lead you to a deep reflection on the processes and tools of self-transformation provided by the renowned Yogi Sadhguru. If you want to start your yoga journey with Sadhguru, click on the link in the description of this video and learn more.
Many problems that human beings are suffering is simply because we have lost that awareness as to how to be in sync with the many forces. If you become in rhythm with life, you will also wake up somewhere after 3 a.m.
At that time, you should sit up and do whatever process you have been initiated for, it will bear maximum fruit.
In the way the planet is spinning and what is happening, something very fundamental changes somewhere between 3:20 to 3:40. This is called Brahma Muhurtam.
This is relevant only up to 33 degrees latitude. Your system, human system, functions in a certain way. It is a possibility. So, there has been an awareness about making use of this possibility.
Your life is a product of many things that we call as the universe, many things that we call as existence. So we are a consequence of a certain phenomenal happening that we call as cosmos. We are not an individual existence. So when you get in sync, certain things will happen. You know, there's a 𝗁𝘂𝗿𝑎𝑠 in where we are in Tennessee, the US ashram, they wake up once in 17 years. Can you beat it? They know it is 17 years and they come awake and they breathe and they go back to sleep. They're keeping time once in 17 years, no alarm bell anywhere. Well, how is this? I'm saying they're in sync with nature. We have lost sync within nature and we think that is our nature. No. All the many ailments, many problems that human beings are suffering is simply because we have lost that awareness as to how to be in sync with the many forces which are making us who we are. So yoga is to bring that sync so that you are in rhythm with life. If you become in rhythm with life, you will also wake up somewhere just after 3 a.m. If you're conscious, suddenly a certain spark of aliveness will happen within you. Even if you're in deep sleep, you will come awake. This must happen to you. This means you're falling in sync with it. You're falling in sync with life.
So what should I do? Should I meditate? Should I do a kriya? Doesn't matter what. You must do a process for which you have been initiated for. Because initiation means you were not just taught a practice, it was introduced into your system, it was implanted in your system. So whatever, if there is a life seed within you, if you're awake at Brahma Muhurtam and sit for whatever that practice is, it bears maximum fruit because of the way the planet is behaving in relation to your system. If you become aware in a certain way, a certain level of awareness is achieved within you, you will see, you will simply know when the time is. If you go to bed at the right time, you don't have to look at your watch. You will always know when it is 3:40, because the body will behave in a different way. At that time, you should sit up and do whatever process you have been initiated for, not what you picked up from a book. It will bear maximum fruit. the seed will get the necessary support at that time for it to sprout or spurt up more rapidly than at other times. This is only for the initiated. If you are not initiated, you are a book yogi, then 340, 640, 740, not so much of a difference. Sandhya kalas are more important for such people. Sandhya means 20 minutes before sunrise, 20 minutes after sunrise, or 20 minutes before sunset and 20 minutes after sunset. The same goes for noon and midnight, but they're of a different nature. So these two twilights are better for the uninitiated. 340 is good for those who've been powerfully initiated.
I want you to understand, we are this sort of people who throw away our lives for small things. Profound passion towards everything and absolute dispassion towards oneself. This is the nature of one who has seen the world beyond color, beyond taste, beyond perception of the senses. In northern part of India, which presently in the region of Gorakhpur, which is in Uttar Pradesh, in this region, there was a yogi who committed to one aspect of Shiva, which was called Alak Niranjan. Alak means that which is not perceivable, that we cannot see, hear, smell, taste. Niranjan means that which is colorless. That which is colorless, you can anyway not see, hear, smell, taste. It is not perceivable and it's colorless.
Alak Niranjan 𝗿𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗏 𝗿𝗶𝗵𝗏𝗀 भैरागी धड़ धड़ पादानु द्वार दिन दनु भिक्षायु यदनु आजोगी चौदन चर्चित भस्मोत्वर्चित भादुर सुंदर सन्यासी अलख निराजन 𝗿𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗏 भवभयभञ्जन भैरागी।
He went from home to home because this was the nature of spiritual people and the culture and the civilization. So when a sannyasi or a mendicant came in front of the house, nobody said no. Whatever they could give, always it was given. And they never asked for anything more than what they need for that day's nourishment. They didn't take money, they took only food. So he was going from home to home, Alak Niranjan, Alak Niranjan. One day, he came and stood in front of a wealthy home and said, Alak Niranjan. The lady of the house doesn't want to come out by herself. She sent the maid in the house to give him some grain so that he can eat. But she stood behind the door and looked at him. He was a young sadhu with big bright eyes, and she was drawn to him.
यद जल यदि ಎಂದೀತು ಮೈ ಝುಮ್ ಎಂದೀತು ಸಂಯಮ ಪಾಶವು ಸಡಿಲಿತ್ತು ಕಂಗಳ ಮಂಗಳ ಕಾಂತಿಯ ಶಾಂತಿಯ ಕಡಲಿನ ಒಡಲಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಡಿಲಿತ್ತು ನಾಚಿಕೆ ನಲ್ಲೆಯ ಗಲ್ಲ ಗುಲಾಬಿಗೆ ಮೆಲ್ಲನೆ ಕುಲ್ಲನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು ಅಲಕ್ ನಿರಂಜನ ಘಿಲ್ ಘಿಲ್ ಗೂಂಜನ ಭವ ಭಯ ಭಜನ ಭೈರಾಗಿ.
Next day when he came and said Alak Niranjan, she herself came to give the alms. And she looked at his eyes and she fell into them. Then she went inside the house and felt ashamed. She's a married woman and what am I doing? But his eyes occupied her completely. Next day when he came with the alms, she ran to the door. She looked at his eyes, she gave him the alms and said, I am completely taken by your eyes. I can fall into them and disappear. Actually, I have already. He said, Alak Niranjan and left.
Hey, Alak Niranjana, Alak Niranjana, kanchina kantavu molagittu. ಹೆಣ್ಣಿನ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಹಬ್ಬವ ಹಬ್ಬಿಸಿ ಮೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಮೂರುತಿ ಬೆಳಗಿತ್ತು ಶಪಥವು ಮರೆಯಿತು ಕುಪಥವು ತೆರೆಯಿತು ಕರೆಯಿತು ಕಿಂಕಿಣಿ ಝಂಕಾರ ಕರಣವ ಎಳೆಯಿತು ಹರಣವ ಸೆಳೆಯಿತು ಓಂಕರಿಸುವ ಸ್ಮರ ಟಂಕಾರ ಮೆಲ್ಲದ ಮೇಲುದ ಮೆಲ್ಲನೆ ತೀಡುತ್ತ ಸರಿದಳು ಪ್ರಣಯದ ರಂಗೇರಿ ನಿಲ್ಲೆಲೆ ಜೋಗಿಯೇ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂತಹ ಕಾಂತಿಯು ಕುಣಿಯುತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಲ್ಲೆಲೆ ಜೋಗಿಯೇ ನಿನ್ನಯ ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂತಹ ಕಾಂತಿಯು ಕುಣಿಯುತ್ತಿದೆ ತೇಜ ಪೂಜದ ಕಾಂತಿ ವಿಲಾಸಕ್ಕೆ ರವಿ ಶಶಿ ನೈದಿಲೆ ಮಣಿಯುತ್ತಿವೆ.
Next day he came again. He said, Alak Niranjan. She came to the door. So he had a plate and he said, yesterday you said, you love my eyes. Here I have brought them. He had plucked his eyeballs out. And placed it in her hands and said, Alak Niranjan, and walked away. He is willing to become blind so that her inner eyes open up. These are the yogis and mystics of this world.
Alak Niranjana, Alak Niranjana, marudina bandanu ajogi. Kina bhagilu gakkane tereyitu, ಮೂತೆರೆ ಸೆರೆಯಿತು ಮರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ತಾಯಿಯೇ ತೆಗೆದುಕೋ ಎನ್ನುತ್ತ ಜೋಗಿಯು ನೀರೆಗೆ ತಾಳಿಯ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ. ತಾಳಿಯ ತಳಧಳ್ಳಿ ತಳ ತಳ ಹೊಳೆಯುವ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಾಲೆರಡನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ. ತಾಯಿಯೇ ನಿನ್ನಯ ದಿನ ನೀನೆನ್ನಯ ಕಣ್ಣಿನ ಬಣ್ಣನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಕರತಿಯ ಗೋರಿಯ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ ತೊಗಳಿನ ಆ ಕಣ್ಕಿತ್ತಿದೋ ತಂದೆಯರು. ಅಲ್ಲ अलख निराजन अलख निराजन ನಡೆದನು ನಿರ್ವ್ಯಥೆ ಆಜೋಗಿ ಹೊಗಳಿನ ಕಣ್ಬಲಿ ಇಂದಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾನದ ಒಳಗಂತರಯಿಸಿ ಕುರುಡಾಗಿ ತಾಯಿಯೇ ನಿನ್ನಯ ದಿನ ನೀನನ್ನಯ ಕಣ್ಣಿನ ಬಣ್ಣನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಕರತಿಯ ಕೋರಿಯ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ ತೊಗಲಿನ ಆ ಕಣ್ಕಿತ್ತಿದೋ ತಂದಿಹೇನು अलख निराजन अलख निराजन
Still we feel that mind chattery which always bothers us, and our thought always shifts back to past and future imaginations which will not be any of output. How to get rid of it?
A whole lot of thought about this thoughtlessness. Thoughtlessness, no mind, these kinds of terms have been propagated all over the place, and these terms have been badly misunderstood and made into all kinds of things, and people are striving how to stop my mind. It took millions of years of evolution to get a mind of this kind of capability, isn't it? Millions of years of tremendous amount of nature's work that today you have a mind of this kind of scope. And now you want to stop it. Why is it that you want to stop it? If your mind was constantly producing absolute pleasantness for you, would you think how to stop this mind? Would you? No. It's producing a lot of unpleasantness. That's why you're thinking of how to stop the mind. This is the first thing. Wherever you go in the world, this has gone so much into people's mind. If you tell them you meditate, they say, "But Sadhguru, I'm not able to stop my mind." I said, that will happen only after you stop your kidneys, liver, heart. You stop all these things, then the mind will also stop. Do you want it to stop? No. Then why do you want the mind to stop? Why do you have such a horrible prejudice against the mind? You don't mind if your heart is beating, you can meditate. You don't mind if your liver is working, you can meditate. Your kidneys are functioning, you can meditate. If your brain functions, you can't meditate, what is the problem? You seem to have something against intelligence, isn't it? This is the conspiracy of the stupid against human intelligence, that to meditate means your brain must be frozen. No. You don't have to freeze your brain. We were looking at this yesterday itself. We will initiate you into Shambhavi. It's a simple process. There are many ways to do it. This is one simple way. But it's a powerful process. If you sit here, you will see your body is here, your mind is somewhere, who you are is somewhere else. Once there is a space between you and the mind, then what the mind is not doing, what the mind is doing is not even an issue. It is like you're stuck in the traffic jam. You're struggling through the traffic. That's one experience. Suppose you are either standing on Chamundi Hill or you're floating in a hot air balloon and look down at all the traffic. Very peacefully, traffic. Why? There's a distance, isn't it? When you're in it, traffic is a different experience. From really high up there, sitting in a hot air balloon, you look down, you can't even hear the sounds. Looks wonderful, traffic, isn't it? Yes or no? Because there's a distance. So once there's a distance between you and your mind's activity, mind is not a problem. Mind is a miracle, it is not a problem. And anyway, If thoughts are going continuously, if you're having a mental diarrhea, obviously you ate some bad food, isn't it? Yes. If you're having a physical diarrhea, you ate some bad food, isn't it? If you're having a mental diarrhea, you are obviously consumed something wrong. What this wrong thing could be is, the moment you identify yourself with something that you're not, then you're finished. Your mind is a continuous runs. There is no other way. Do what you want, try as hard as you want, it is not going to stop. If you do not identify yourself with anything that you are not, you know how to be with everything, you know how to use everything, but you're not identified with it, then you will see if you sit here, simply mind will be like this. If you want to use it, you can use it, otherwise it'll be like this. Right now your hands are like this, or you're holding it tied up because it'll go all over, is it? No. You can keep it like this. You can keep it like this, you can keep it like this. When you want to use it, you can use it. So it's a useful instrument. Suppose your hands become like this. You know, some people have become like this. Yes or no? If it becomes like this, you will become ridiculous, isn't it? If it happens to your mind, also you're equally ridiculous. It is just that you are living in the comfort that nobody else can see it. But people can see it. They watch you closely enough, they can see it, isn't it? And whether they can see it or not, that's not the point. The point is, the most important faculty of your life is out of control. Doesn't matter whether they can see it or not, that's not the issue. The issue is, the most important faculty in your life is out of control, doing its own rubbish all the time, not doing what you want it to do. So, if you have to be freed from this ailment, you should stop eating bad food. Wrong food or bad food means you're identifying yourself with things that you're not. If you sit here, if you're not identified with this and with this, then you will see everything is just fine. Then your mind will do what you want it to do. Otherwise, it will simply hang there, and that's how it should be. Mind should not be telling its own stories all the time. It should tell the story that you want it to tell, isn't it? Otherwise, it's quite a nuisance.
The question is, what means focus to you, and in which way can we apply focus in our daily life? So what's your definition of focus?
Okay. There are many ways to describe this word. Instead of saying focus, if you use the word attention, would you agree that attention and focus are about the same thing? There is a little difference. There are nuances to it, but when you say focus, it's just like focusing a light on something means only a focus is always a spot. Attention can be much more widespread. See, right now, if you have clear vision, I'm having problems seeing the young man because you kept him in darkness there in the hall. But if the hall was well lit, I don't have to focus myself to see the people who are sitting here. I just need attention. If I'm attentive, I will see all the people here the way they are. But now I get interested in this one young man, then I need focus. If I had only focus without the general attention about everything around me, indiscriminate attention I'm talking about, attention not even about something, just being attentive because… only because there is a certain level of attention and awareness within you, you even know that you exist. Otherwise, let's say in sleep, in your experience, neither the world exists nor you exist, all that's happened is There is no attention. Because there is no attention, there is no perception of any kind.